When is a girl a girl? Are all the robots finally turning against us? What has the Pope got against Argentina? For July 10th, 2015, from the stylish high-tech underground studios of Ribbit Media, in humid enough for doddering septuagenarians to leave contrails, Cranston, Rhode Island, this is NewsUndies. For July 10th, 2015, this is NewsUndies, all the news that shouldn't be news. I'm Paul Torville with these headlines. Douglas Legler of North Dakota died. His obituary read, Doug died. That's the way he wanted it, so, yeah. Actor and comedian Jim Carrey, whom you may know as the former partner of anti-vax loon Jenny McCarthy, tweeted, California Gov says yes to poisoning more children with mercury and aluminum in mandatory vaccines. This corporate fascist must be stopped. In another tweet, he called the Centers for Disease Control corrupt. Mercury exposure can cause a variety of neurological and developmental issues, but as someone who was vaccinated with vaccines containing mercury compounds and has not been diagnosed as autistic, I think my evidence is at least as good as Jenny McCarthy's, especially considering the lack of reproducibility inherent in Andrew Wakefield's bunk study. God! Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner are getting divorced. So the fuck what? The Girl Scouts of Western Washington told a donor, in effect, thanks, but no thanks, when his donation came with the restriction that it could not be used to support transgender girls. The returned donation left the GSWW with a $100,000 funding gap. They put up a campaign on Indiegogo and nearly doubled their goal in a day. So bigotry wins again. A technician at a Volkswagen plant in Germany was grabbed and pushed against a metal plate by a stationary vehicle assembly robot. He later died from his injuries. This is why we have lockout, tagout. People. While being interviewed on Australian television, acquaintance of the show Lawrence Krauss likened teaching creationism to children and failing to have children vaccinated, stating that they both could arguably be called child abuse. Rock on, Dr. K. Rock on. 8 people were trapped in terror within the confines of the Alconbury Sports and Social Club in England by a fox. One fox. Apparently, it had a mean streak about a mile wide, nasty big pointy teeth. The fox reportedly bit a female customer of the club when she went outside to tempt the fox away with food. That's when they called in Graham Brown, pest control expert. Brown, for his part, was interested in being humane with the animal, allowing it to chase him and corner him in a children's play area. Eventually, the fox was humanely destroyed, possibly by a holy hand grenade. Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. I got my cake hat on. Let's rock! For the 4th, Neil Simon. For the 5th, David Farragut, dead. For the 6th, Sylvester Stallone. For the 7th, Joe Spano. For the 8th, John D. Rockefeller, dead. For the 9th, O.J. Simpson, ew. And for the 10th, Joe Shuster, dead. That's celebrity birthdays. I'm Paul Torville, and I'm done! Anyone care to join me for a smoke? Up next, it's like you visited your hometown but didn't stop in to see your folks. How long before the inevitable and frankly predictably tiresome footlong jokes? And you weren't using that gravestone, were you? Hi, I'm Paul Torville. You may remember me for my 27 on-screen appearances as Z-Core Zombie in Daniel Lee White's feature film Cost of the Living, a Zom Rom-Com. On Friday, July 10th, 2015, I will be guest host live on Packard Pokes At, which can be seen live at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific, like 0200 UTC on the 11th. The rest of it, you can figure it out. You're smart. You found this crap show. Packard Pokes At can be found at http://vaughnlive.tv/Packard Pokes At. He also has a YouTube channel and all the social medias because he's good at this stuff. Check him out. He's funny. He does good interviews and he has other people to talk to. So he's got me beat there. And he does his show live. So I suck and Packard is awesome. Check out his videos on YouTube and join us live on Friday, July 10th at 10 p.m. Eastern and all the other appropriate time zones at http://vaughnlive.tv/Packard Pokes At. Links in the description. Bobby Christina Brown. Kevin Maynard, a 59-year-old employee of the Rhode Island Veterans Cemetery, has pled guilty to stealing granite grave markers and other cemetery items. According to authorities, he had at least 150 grave markers he was using as flooring in his patio and in his shed and 2 garages. At least he didn't make a toilet out of them. The grave markers are provided free of charge to families of deceased veterans by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. Maynard, as a consequence of his plea deal, will get 1 year on probation and will have to serve 500 hours of community service. Now, I don't usually get all hot and bothered about military issues, honoring this and respecting that. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but I'm not particularly proud of my military service, and I don't usually get worked up about the dead. I don't hold human remains as sacred. And yet, this numbnuts has officially gotten my goat. Personally, I don't care if my military service is never mentioned again. If I die and my body is properly disposed of and there's no hunk of stone to indicate where I might have been, that's okay with me. But for those for whom it's not okay, who like to have their dead relatives sealed in a box underground with a heavy carved stone marker, that's their business, and it's not your business, Mr. Maynard, to pry up those markers and use them for your own purposes. And while I don't think that Joe Random Veteran is necessarily deserving of the reverence normally reserved for demigods simply by virtue of having served, I do think that once a person is dead, however his or her family and or community has chosen to commemorate that individual, that memorial should at least be afforded the common courtesy of not being vandalized. I admit that's a pretty low bar, and Kevin Maynard has managed to limbo under it. As we do from time to time, let's spend a little while with our resident cranky old man, Kurt Mudgeon, in Curmudgeon's Corner. My grandfather died of a heart attack at the age of 37. Some people of his generation lived into their 70s and 80s, but not many. Now, if you don't make it to 80, someone says, "Oh, he was so young." No, he wasn't. He was 78. When you get to be my age, your organs and glands either quit or go into overdrive or just do whatever they want. Your brain starts flipping out and your body can't regulate its temperature. You're sleepy during the day and you can't sleep at night. You wake up at 4 a.m. for no reason. Everybody walks faster than you. Everybody talks faster than you. Everybody thinks faster than you. And heaven forbid you should try to say something and can't think of a word. The looks you get make you feel like your mouth is moving, but squeaky toy sounds are coming out. My grandfather was lucky. He never had to wear a diaper as an adult. Pope Francis is on a whirlwind three-nation South American tour to survey the plight of the poor. The pontiff will not be visiting his homeland of Argentina, but will be visiting next-door neighbors Bolivia and Paraguay. Why the snub? Here are Pig and Sheep with their thoughts.
How should I know? I'm not a Catholic.
Does it matter? He's going to South America to survey the plight of the poor. Then he's going back to his marble city in Rome to sit on his golden chair. Screw the Pope. That's what pig and sheep think. What are your thoughts? Email them to ovcomments@newsundies.com. And now for the week ending July 10th, here's Paul Torville with your exclusive Pastcast weather. Here's your exclusive Pastcast weather for New England. It was scattered showers and cool. The mid-Atlantic states had scattered thunderstorms, and then it was sunny and warm, because who knows? And the Appalachian region, right, sunny and warm, because who knows? It's high elevation, but somehow sunny and warm. Please, if you know, tell me. You understand this stuff, please tell me. I'm Paul Torville. That's your exclusive Pastcast weather. Give him squeeze. Still to come see the Dresden of conservative heads. And, well, Michael Jackson recovered. Sort of.
Whether you prefer post-industrial vampire trance music or neo-gothic nerdcore speed thrash, Royal Records is the record store for you. Royal Records has albums and cassettes from many of your favorite artists, including The Letterman, The Righteous Brothers, The Insane Clown Posse, The Slipknots, and The Nine Inch Nails. No matter your taste, you'll find the records and tapes you love at Royal Records, Main Street, downtown. Open weekdays from 10 to 4.
And now here's Moose Weintraub with a Sports Half Minute.
Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute. It's a whole half minute of sports. 30 seconds of sports. Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute.
This is your Sports Half Minute. I'm Moose Weintraub. 38-year-old San Antonio Spur Tim Duncan has decided to sign on for his 19th season with the franchise. Oy. Oh.
Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute.
Thanks, Moose. Always a great report from Moose. It's been an exciting couple of weeks for conservative Christians and the GOP. Here's a quick rundown to get you caught up. Trump badmouths Mexicans and his poll numbers rise, proving how backward and out of touch with reality the GOP is. Roy Moore turns out to be the Pat Robertson of justice. Donald Trump is suing Univision for dropping his beauty pageant because of his anti-Mexican rhetoric. Donald Trump piñatas appear in Mexico. Glenn Beck plans to boycott Disney's upcoming Charles Darwin biopic. Irrational county clerks quit rather than issuing marriage licenses to the gays. Heritage Foundation fellow Ryan Anderson has stated that the SCOTUS ruling on marriage equality does not permit same-sex couples to have sex. Pastor Rick Scarborough, who, prior to the SCOTUS ruling on marriage equality, promised to give us a special Human Torch light show, has now retracted that promise and says he loves homosexuals and wants to help them avoid hell. Well, that's nice. Well played, stupidity. Well played. Texas governor picks homeschooler to lead State Board of Education. And Rush Limbaugh continues not to have moved to Costa Rica in response to the passage and staying power of the Affordable Care Act. Come on, Rush. It's not like you promised to set yourself on fire. What are you, a flip-flopper? And finally, and I do mean finally, we all saw this coming, didn't we? The FBI has raided the Zionsville, Indiana home of Subway spokesman Jared Fogle Tuesday in connection with a child pornography investigation. Earlier in the year, the director of Fogle's Jared Foundation, Russell Taylor, was arrested on child exploitation, possession of child pornography, and voyeurism charges. As of shoot day, the authorities have given no public indication to whether Fogel himself is under investigation or whether the raid was in connection with another ongoing investigation. But no charges have been brought against Fogel. Despite this, the Subway restaurant chain tweeted, Subway and Jared Fogel have agreed to suspend their relationship due to the current investigation. Jared is cooperating with authorities. The fate of the foundation and Fogel's career as a pitchman for Subway, even if no charges are brought, is uncertain. Child pornography is not funny. The psychological issues that motivate people to go down the path to child pornography are not funny. Among the many news stories that shouldn't be news, this is certainly right up there. And yet, like so many other things, without awareness, it's hard to get treatment, assuming for the moment that whatever underlies the propensity to sexualize children is treatable. And without treatment, it's hard to contain and manage the potential for destructive behavior before it becomes actual destructive behavior. And because the topic is so repellent to nearly everyone in polite society, and since law enforcement is so quick to react to the slightest hint of impropriety, I don't know about anybody else, but frankly, I'm more than a little terrified to have a frank and open conversation about this. He said, frankly, on the internet. Well, that's all for this edition of NewsUndies. If you see news that shouldn't be news, you can submit your story tips online at newsundies.com or on Twitter with the hashtag NUSTip. NewsUndies is a weekly show. We'll be back on Friday, July 17th with fresh undies. If you like this video, please like this video. If you like the show, please spread the word. Got a question, comment, or suggestion? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, circle us on Google+, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, ignore us on MySpace, tell your friends, and buy NewsUndies Kitsch at newsundies.com. For all of us here at NewsUndies, until next time, I'm Paul Torville. After that, I might be on Packard Pokes At. Poke, poke. Thanks to story tipper Jeff, the god of biscuits. And as always, thanks to friends of the show, Randy Brush, Highway, and Packard Sonic for their inscrutable and apparently tireless support of this show. Source links in the description below, as well as a few extra links I just didn't have room for in the show.
I just want to tell you good luck. We're all counting on you.